Hey, folks, and welcome to this little warm up to tonight's fundraiser for Richard Allen's Defense Expert fundraiser. As you might know, Richard Allen's defense has been denied funds for experts. Denied. While the state experts have, I think the state has a bit over $250,000 in their budget for experts alone. And Richard Allen gets zero. So the warm-up is the most ridiculous, but still approved, probable cause affidavit to search Richard Allen's house. Welcome to the show. Now, let's see here if I can make this a bit bigger. Why can't I make it bigger? Why is this so small? Oh, that's better. That's better. So you can read it with me. I will try to keep everything. Probable cause affidavit. I, the undersigned affiant, submit the following information pursuant to blah, 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 as a sworn affidavit setting forth the facts and circumstances known to law enforcement of Carroll County as the basis for probable cause to arrest without a warrant or to establish cause for issuance of an arrest warrant for the above named defendant. The facts and circumstances described below would be sufficient basis for a person of reasonable caution and prudence to believe that the accused has committed or attempted to commit the offense described, and if arrested without a warrant, such would be authorized under these rules. That the hearsay statement of witnesses contained herein are considered reliable. Remember this part. Considered reliable. Due to the witness' personal knowledge and or are corroborated by the totality of the circumstances. That's a phrase I genuinely dislike, totality of the circumstances. This is then describing the crime. On February 14th, 2017, victim 1 and victim 2 were found deceased in the woods approximately 0.2 miles northeast of the Monon High Bridge in Carroll County. Their bodies was located on the north side of Deer Creek. At the time, Monon High Bridge Trail was approximately 1 mile gravel trail terminating at the Monon High Bridge. The Monon High Bridge is an abandoned railroad trestle, blah, 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 blah. And they describe the crime here. And here's an interesting thing. A video from victim 2's phone shows that 2:13 p.m. victim 1 and victim 2 encountered a male subject on the northeast portion of the Monon High Bridge. Remember, we don't know if it's an actual video or if it is a series of photos rendered into a video. But this is known to the person writing this sworn affidavit. Also states, encountered a male subject on the northeast portion of the Monon High Bridge. The male ordered the guys down the hill. And this you should know by now, if you follow this. The video and the audio are separate. This investigator definitely know that they can't say that guy actually said those words, at least not at the same time as they did the video, because the audio and the video was separate. That we know through evidence that has come forth in the discovery. So already here, we have lie number 1 in the sworn affidavit. A known and deliberate lie. No witness saw them after this time. No outgoing communications was found on victim 2's phone after this time. Their bodies was discovered on February 14th. The video recovered from victim 2's phone showed victim 1 walking southeast on Monon High Bridge, while a male subject wearing a dark jacket and jeans walks behind her. As the male subject approaches victim 1 and victim 2, one of the victim mentions gun. This we know. But still, we don't know if gun and him on the video are rendered at the same time. Now, this officer claims it, but we already caught him in one lie. A still photograph was taken from the video, and the Guys Down the Hill audio was subsequently released to the public to assist investigators in identifying the male. Yeah. Again, that is correct. Originally, it was the photo or the blurred photo. Here he actually says it's a photo, not a video. A still photograph taken from the video. What video? We don't know. If it's a series of photos rendered into a video or if it is an actual video. We don't know yet. I've heard both. And then Guys Down the Hill audio was subsequently released to the public. Released to the public to assist investigators in identifying the male. It was ruled a homicide. Clothes were found in the Deer Creek belonging to victim 1 and victim 2. Undressed. There was also a .40 caliber unspent round less than 2 feet away from victim 2's body between the bodies. The round was unspent and had extraction marks on it. This is correct, but what the investigator doesn't tell in this affidavit is that they didn't find it in the original search. They had the crime scene for 3 full days, then released it, and then resealed it. And then they found it. Say what you will about that. Can I do this instead? No, I can't. Let's do this. Oh, I'm tiny there in the corner. One. Interviews were conducted with 3 juveniles, and they advised they were on the Monon High Bridge on the February 13th. They advised they were walking on a trail toward Freedom Bridge to go home when they encountered a male walking from Freedom Bridge towards the Monon High Bridge, described the male as kind of creepy, and advised he was wearing like blue jeans, a like really light blue jacket, and his hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he did not really show his face. She advised the jacket was a duck canvas type jacket. Redacted name advised that she said hi to the male, but he just glared at them. She recalled him being in all black. These are the 3 youth. So one says blue jeans, light blue jacket. The other one says being in all black and had something covering his mouth. She described him as not very tall, with a bigger build. She said he was not bigger than 5'10". Redacted advised he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. She stated he had his hands in his pockets. Redacted showed investigators photographs she took on her phone while she was on the trial that day. The photographs include a photo of the bridge at this time, then another taken later at the bench east of the Freedom Bridge. Redacted advised after she took the photo of the bench, they started walking back towards Freedom Bridge. She advised that was when they encountered the man who matched the description of the photograph taken from victim 2 video. Redacted described the man she encountered on the trail as wearing a blue or black windbreaker jacket. So this is the third one, I guess. She advised he was wearing baggy jeans and was taller than her. She advised her head came up to approximately his shoulder. Now, we don't know the height of this girl. She advised redacted say hi to the man, and that he said nothing back. So we have 3 different descriptions now from 3 youth who saw him at the same time. She stated he was walking with a purpose, like he knew where he was going. She stated he had his hand in his pocket and kept his head down. She advised she did not get a good look of his face, but believed him to be a white male. The girl advised, after encountering the male, they continued their walk across the bridge and the old railroad bridge over Old State Road 25. Investigators spoke with Redacted, another witness, who advised she was on the trace on this date. Video from the Hoosier Hardware store captured Redacted vehicle traveling eastbound at 1:46 p.m. towards the entrance across the Mears farm. Redacted advised she saw 4 juvenile females walking on the bridge over Old State Road 25 as she was driving underneath on her way to park. Redacted advised there was no other cars parked across from the Mears farm when she parked. She advised she walked to the Monon High Bridge and observed a male matching the one from victims 2 video. She described the male she saw as white male wearing blue jeans and a blue jeans jacket. Oh, really? So now we have 4 witnesses with 4 different descriptions of clothing. And this latest one saw the video or series of photos of the person before she testified what he was wearing and still kind of got it wrong. That is the difficulty with eyewitness testimony. It's not really reliable. I know there's a lot of you out there that believes in it. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. It's not really reliable. Let's get back to this. She advised she was standing on the first platform on the Monon High Bridge, approximately 50 feet from her. She advised she turned around at the bridge and continued her walk. She advised approximately halfway between the bricks and the parking area across from Mears farm. She passed 2 girls walking toward Monon High Bridge. She advised she believed the girl was victim 1 and victim 2. This is interesting because that would indicate that this man was on the bridge before the girls. Can it be important? I don't know. Video from Hoosier Hardware store shows a white car matching this witness vehicle traveling away from the entrance across from the Mears farm. Redacted advised she finished her walk and saw no other adults other than the male on the bridge. This from geofencing at the time. There were at the time multiple phones pinging around that area from adults. We already know that. She might not have seen them, but there were other adults in the area. There were a bunch of phones in the area, according to the defense. Her vehicle is seen on Hoosier Hardware store at 2:14 p.m., leaving westbound from the trails. Redacted advised when she was leaving she noted a vehicle parked in an odd manner at the old CPS building. She said it was not odd for vehicles to be parked there, but she noted it was odd because of the manner it was parked, backed in near the building. Investigators received a tip from Redacted in which he stated he was on his way to Delphi on State Road 25 around 2 p.m. He observed a purple PT Cruiser or a small SUV-type vehicle parked at the south side of the old CPS building. Now, this isn't strange. I mean, a PT Cruiser from a distance can resemble a small SUV. What it doesn't, we will get there. We will get there. I promise. We will get there. He stated it appears as though it was backed in as to conceal the license plate of the vehicle. That's a weird thing to say. It depends on how you park. I mean, either you back in or you don't. Redacted Both drew diagrams of where they saw the vehicle parked, and the diagrams generally matched as to the area the vehicle was parked and the manner in which it was parked. Redacted advised he remembered seeing a smaller, dark-colored car parked at the old CPS building. He described it as possibly being a smart car. Redacted vehicle is seen leaving at 2:28 p.m. on the Hoosier Harvester store. Investigators spoke with Redacted, who stated she was traveling east on 300 North, blah, 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 and observed a male subject walking west on the north side of this road, away from the Monone High Bridge. Redacted advised that the male subject was wearing a blue-colored jacket and blue jeans and was muddy and bloody. I call BS on this specific witness. Complete BS. Simply because even though the other witnesses said, oh, he was wearing different clothes, none who actually saw the guy, muddy and bloody. Yeah. So whoever this witness is, no, just no. You are just trying to make yourself interesting, and you should be ashamed of yourself. She further stated that it appeared he had gotten into a fight. Investigators were able to determine from watching the video from Hoosier Harvester that Redacted was traveling north at approximately 3:57 p.m. So this is way past the timeline. So whoever this is, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should come forward and apologize because you are a liar. You just wanted to make yourself interesting in this case. Through interviews, electronic data, photographs, and video from the Hoosier Harvest store, investigators determined that there were other people on the trail that day after 2:13 p.m. How about that? Those people were interviewed, and none of those individuals encountered the male subject referenced above, witnessed by the juvenile girls, Redacted and Redacted. Further, none of those individuals witnessed victim 1 and victim 2. Not uncommon. People just don't pay attention sometimes. Investigator reviewing prior tips encountered a tip narrative from an officer who interviewed Richard Allen in 2017. Mr. Allen was on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. This I don't believe. I don't think, because this is not according to an actual timeline. But this is the investigator. We haven't seen the actual tip or the interview with Mr. Allen to this officer. We only know he interviewed Mr. Allen in 2017, which is interesting. You know why? Because we now know that the first 70 days of these investigations, all recorded interviews are gone. So all we have is one officer who Richard contacted himself. Is this an actual rendering of what he actually said? We don't know yet. I kind of call bullshit, as for now, because the investigators, I believe, are at the level of incompetence. I wouldn't be surprised if parts of this is adjusted. He parked at the old Farm Bureau building and walked to the new bridge. While at the bridge, he saw 3 females. He noted one was taller and had brown or black hair. He did not remember the description, nor did he speak to them. He walked from the bridge to the high bridge. He did not see anybody, although he stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he walked. He stated there were vehicles parked at the high bridge trailhead, however, did not pay attention to them. He did not take any photos or video. So, these girls previously might have seen him, and he saw them. None of them actually puts him on that side of the bridge with these 2 girls, just close enough. And looking at their statements and their timeline and everything, it seems like whoever, when Mr. Allen left, was probably much closer to 2 p.m. than 3:30. In my opinion, don't take my word for it. Make up your own minds. Make up your own minds. His cell phone, I will not. Damn, sorry. Well, it's not. It's gone now. Potential follow-up. Who were the three girls working in the area of Freedom Bridge? Well, we know that because you interviewed them. They came to you. Investigators believe Mr. Allen was referring to the former CPS building, as there was not a Farm Bureau building in the area, nor had there been. Investigators believe the females he saw included redacted and redacted due to the time they were leaving the trail, the time he reported getting to the trail, and the description the three females gave. Now, the timeline doesn't really fit, does it? It really doesn't. Investigators discovered Richard Allen owned two vehicles in 2017, a 2016 black Ford Focus and a 2006 gray Ford 500. Here we go. Investigators observed a vehicle that resembled Allen's 2016 Ford Focus on the Hoosier Harvester at 1:30 p.m. traveling westbound on this road in front of the Hoosier Harvester, which coincided with the statement that he arrived around 1:30 p.m. at the trails. Investigators note witnesses described the vehicle parked at the former child CPS building as a PT Cruiser, small SUV, or smart car. Now, and investigators believe those descriptions are similar in nature to a 2016 Ford Focus. Let's have a look. This is a PT Cruiser 2016. This, I just picked one 2016 small SUV. This is a smart car. This is a 2016 black Ford Focus. It's not. This is not his. This is just a fake picture. I claim to you, without a shadow of a doubt, that doesn't look like a smart car or a PT Cruiser. Maybe with a stretch, somebody can misconstrue it as a small SUV. I don't think so, but I kind of know cars. So, yeah, if this is the basis, it's stupid. It really is. Whoever this investigator is, I didn't care to check the name, shouldn't be a cop. If this is what he puts in his affidavit. All they have now is, in this affidavit, is Mr. Allen was there roughly at the earliest point of time. He met and saw these three girls and him saw each other. He didn't care to speak to them. That's it. And he parked his car. There might have been more cars there. We don't know. Around that time, or later, or even a little bit later, we don't know because the timeline is so obscure here. I mean, this is ridiculous. You couldn't indict a ham sandwich on this pile of garbage that they so far has presented in this affidavit. Remember, even Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI agent, who is extremely pro-state, says this affidavit is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And when she says that, me saying the same thing, I mean, I'm very pro-defense. I admit it. But when she does it, yeah, I'm kind of right, I think. Let's continue. On October 13, 2022, 5 years later, Allen was interviewed again by investigators. He advised he was on the trails on that date. He stated he saw juveniles on the trails east of the bridge, and he went on to the high bridge. Allen further stated he went on to the Monon High Bridge to watch the fish. Later in his statement, he said he walked out to the first platform on the bridge. Then he stated he then walked back, sat on the bench on the trail, and then left. He stated he parked his car on the side of an old building. He told investigators he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black jacket with a hood. So that kind of matched the description. But these are the girls who actually saw him. Not that weird. Not that weird. He advised he may have been wearing some kind of head covering as well. Here's the thing, folks. Delphi, Indiana, or Indiana in general, a man in jeans and a jacket with a hood and some kind of headwear, that's all adult males there. You can go, I mean, I've been checking videos from that area about people gathering and stuff. At least 50% of the adult males, jeans, jacket, headgear, goatee. All of them. All of them. He advised he may have been wearing some blah, blah, blah. He would further claim he saw no one else except for the juvenile girls he saw east of the bridge. He told investigators he owned firearms and they are at his home. His wife also spoke to investigators. She confirmed that Richard did have guns and knives at the residence. This is Indiana. They have guns. They have knives. I don't have guns. I have knives. I have an axe. I mean, having guns in Indiana is not a crime. On October 13th, investigators executed a search warrant of his residence, which I believe is completely bogus on this information. Among other items, officers located jackets, boots, knives, and firearms, including a Sig Sauer P226 .40 caliber with this serial number. Between October 14th and October 19th, blah, 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 blah. Indiana State Police Laboratory performed an analysis on his gun. The lab performed a physical examination and classification of the firearm, function test, barrel, and overall length, blah, 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 blah. The laboratory determined the unspent round located within 2 feet of victim 2's body had been cycled through Mr. Allen's Sig Sauer Model 226. Oh, sorry, I forgot to... Yeah, but you can still hear me. And here's the laboratory remarked. An identification opinion is reached when the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics and a sufficient agreement of individual marks. Sufficient agreement is related to the significant duplication of random, striated, impressed marks as evidenced by the correspondence of a pattern or combination of patterns or surface counters. The interpretation of identification is subjective in nature and based on relevant scientific research and the reporting examiner's training and expertise. This is the quote. It doesn't actually say how well it matched in that part. And you all know my opinion. There's no science in this so-called tool mark identification. First of all, they have the round, they have the gun, they cycle, and then they compare. That's it. There's no blind test, no nothing. All they look for is there enough comparing marks on it? Which is stupid and not science. It's not scientific. It's not according to the scientific model whatsoever. It's a shit science, and everybody should know it's a shit science. But also, as Jennifer Coffinduffer said in her video, it's a clear difference between a cycled and a fired, because the marks on the unspent round by just cycling it is way weaker and not really reliable. Again, even Jennifer Coffinduffer, the most pro-state person you can find, more or less, still says this is nonsense, this affidavit, and this tool mark isn't that reliable. And here's the thing, that cycled round in 2017, and then 5 years later, how many rounds have been fired with that gun since? Even though there's tiny more wear and tear on a gun, there should be a significant difference between a 2017 round and a similar round from 2022. So claiming there's a match is stupid to its core. It can't be a definite match because too much time and too many rounds have passed through that gun, in my opinion. Investigators ran the firearm and found that the firearm was purchased, blah, blah, blah. But again, here's the thing. The laboratory determined the unspent round located within 2 feet was cycled through... Oh, sorry again. Again here. The laboratory determined the unspent round located within 2 feet had been cycled through Mr. Richard Allen's Sig Sauer. But they don't quote it, their actual result. According to defense, if I remember correctly, the laboratory only said they could not exclude, which is a hell of a difference between what this affidavit says. We will know in trial what was actually, maybe we will know in trial what actually was said by the lab. He spoke with investigators and stated he have never allowed anyone to use his firearm. When asked about the unspent bullet, he did not have explanation of why the bullet was found between the bodies. Again, it admitted it was on the trail, but denied knowing the victims. So this is the cops flowering up what actually was said by the lab in an attempt to get some kind of reaction from Mr. Allen, and they didn't get one. In my opinion, this is their attempt to just put a bit more cotton, a sherry, or whatever's, but really isn't correct, in my opinion. Carroll County Sheriff's Department detective, why fuck is that redacted? That's been part of the investigation since it started in 2017. That's not a good thing. You know why? Because that means he was a part of the people who destroyed 70 days of evidence. That's not a good thing. He had an opportunity to review and examine evidence, blah, 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 through the statements and photographs of the juvenile females and statements of redacted. They were, blah, blah, blah. An adult male, they claim, vehicle is seen on his hardware store, leaving, and she stated she only saw one adult male, redacted and redacted. But here's the thing. Victim 2's video was taken at 2:13 p.m. Redacted's vehicle is seen leaving 2:14. Investigators believe that was the male. Yeah, we know that. Doesn't mean that much. Richard Allen told investigators he was on a trail between 1:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. I don't believe that's correct. I really don't. I really don't believe that is a correct that is a correct rendition of what Mr. Allen actually told them. I really don't. Video from Hoosier Harvester shows a vehicle that matches the description of Allen's passing at 1:10:27. A vehicle matching the description of his Ford Focus is seen at around 2:10, 2:14, and 2:28 p.m. at the former CPS building. Yeah, the smart car? No. Through his own admission, he walked the trails and eventually hiked the Monon High Bridge and walked onto the Monon High Bridge. He didn't hike, he walked up to the first platform. A male subject matching his description, was not seen on the trail after 2:13 p.m. Investigators identified other individuals on the trail between 2:30 p.m. and 4:11 p.m. None of those individuals saw a male subject matching the description. Furthermore, Richard Allen stated he only saw 3 girls on the trail who investigators believed to be redacted. And here's the thing. Other individuals, identified other individuals. Who were they? Investigators believe Allen was not seen on the trail after 2:13 p.m. because he was in the woods, blah, 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 an unspent caliber, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. If they know all this and they have photo and stuff of a vehicle and pictures, why don't they see when he left? Everything else is seen, photo, video, stuff like that. But they leave out if there is evidence when he left. Investigators believe he was seen by this woman walking back to his vehicle with clothes that was muddy and bloody. I still say that is a lie. Redacted along with the investigators believe that statements made by the witness because the statements corroborate the timeline. This is interesting with the timeline and the time of death. This is early February, mid-February. It was crisp. I don't think you can actually pinpoint the time of death is close to 0 degrees after that many hours. Remember, they were found the next morning, so which gives approximately 15 hours, 16 hours, approximately. Now, there are other forms like the rigor mortis and everything, but I don't think you can pinpoint that well. In my opinion, I might be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. And this. And it was approved with Benjamin Diener. And it was Nicholas McClelland. And remember, Nicholas McClelland is a jackass, in my opinion. So this is October 27, 2022. And I agree. This affidavit, now, this is what they have. Richard Allen says, yeah, I was there. I saw these 3 minutes. I walked up onto the bridge, watched the fish, sat on a bench, returned, gone. That's it. Now, the unspent bullet is from a search warrant, which I believe is even vaguer. I thought this was but this is incredibly vague, and the witnesses, their description is so out there, especially the one witness they rely on this muddy and bloody. I don't think that person saw anything. I think that person wanted to make themselves interesting in the investigation and just told stuff. And now he or she or whatever they identify as have to stick with the story. This is an incredibly vague and nonsensical and probable cause affidavit. It is too vague. It doesn't really say anything. And if they hadn't had in my opinion, how they misrepresented the evidence about the gun and the bullet, they would have nothing. And I still say it's too much mud in this. That is what I have for you. After this recording, I will hand you over to my stream, in my fundraising stream. Okay? See you there. Bye-bye.